Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're coming close to the end of the year and there's a few games still yet to be released, but we do have confirmed release dates. So I wanted to give you my top 3 games still to be released in 2022 that you might want to check out. Now I'll leave timestamps, be sure to use those, jump around to the games that you're interested in if you want to have a look more in depth. But these games, they're not like groundbreaking Genshin level of changing what Gacha is or anything like that, but I think they're enjoyable games that are different enough and have tried to make steps to differentiate themselves from the competition that you might find some enjoyment, and you can be sure that we will be doing some summons in these games. But before we get into it guys, I have to thank Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Raid Shadow Legends has taken over, bringing a true console level gaming experience to your phone with hundreds of artifacts to equip to over 600 champions with unique skills. You can build your team, develop your champions, and raid your way. An amazing addition to the game is the Doom Tower. This is a 120 floor tower where you fight enemies on every floor, and every 10th floor is going to be an exciting new boss challenge for even seasoned players to compete against. As a high-level collection RPG, Raid started with hundreds of unique characters and bosses, but that didn't stop them from adding more and more new champions into their game. And it doesn't just stop at new champions. Last year, Raid added a whole new faction, the Shadowkin. These guys have some of the coolest designs out of any of the factions inside Raid. And then of course we have the Hydra clan boss. This monster has multiple heads, each with a different ability and requires a different strategy to destroy. Even if you manage to chop off a head, another head grows back. But don't be discouraged by this, because this does drop some of the best artifacts in the game. And here's the big news. Raid has just released a super-powered legendary version of fan favorite champion, the Death Knight. And the best part is everyone can get him now for free. All you have to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and October 27, and you'll add the ultimate Death Knight to your collection. And right now, Raid is running an amazing Halloween trick-or-treat promotion where you can win a bunch of real-life and in-game prizes, including $1,000 Amazon gift cards and some of the best epic and legendary Halloween champions in Raid. The best part is it's all free and super easy. All you need to do is grab your Raid player ID, download Raid with my link in the description, and then head to trickortreat.plarium.com, which I'll leave in the description for easy access. From there, all you have to do is enter your details, spin the wheel, and get your prize. That is it. Now, this special event runs from October 15 to November 5, and once it's over, and it's only for new players, so get in fast. There's never been a better time to get started, because on top of everything else, you can also use the promo code DKRises for a bunch of free items that can instantly level any of your strongest champions all the way to level 50 5-star Ascension. And this promo code is available to all new and existing players. So if you haven't started playing Raid yet, you can use my link in the description or the QR code on screen at the moment, and you'll get unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking a free epic champion, Vergis, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, and 1 XP boost, on top of 1 ancient shard, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. All this treasure will be waiting for you right here. And it's that easy. Just click the link in the description to get started today. Okay, so we're going to go through these games in order of release dates, and on October 27th, we have Path to Nowhere. And as you see footage on the screen, I have to give a massive shout out to FG3000. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Most of you probably already follow him. Absolute legend. Thank you, FG, for the footage. The beta for this came out. I got into it. I played about 5 minutes and I was like, it's tower defense. So, you know, Arknights came out, what was that, like 2-3 years ago? And it was really big when it launched. And I thought it was going to like bring a new wave of tower defense games, but it didn't. Now, personally, I'm not a massive tower defense fan. That's why I never really played Arknights. And like I said, I played this one for 5 minutes and I thought, oh, you know, tower defense, I might give it a miss. Then watching guys like FG3000, Balkano, Chaotic, and those guys talk about it made me want to play it. So I played it a bit longer and I actually did enjoy myself in the game. Now, the things that I really like about this one, and everyone says like, you know, you shouldn't compare it to Arknights, but I think a lot of people will, just based off the general genre of tower defense. Now, for me, this one's actually pretty cool. One, I like the fact that in-game, when you're in combat, it doesn't have chibi models. I'm not a massive chibi fan. I know some people are, but for me, that is a big plus. The second thing is that for this one, it's a really cool concept where all the characters that you're using are like escaped convicts, and it's just like, it's sort of a story path that I've never seen in a gacha, like, or that I've paid that close attention to anyways, which is really cool. And then the final thing that I really liked was the way you could move your characters around once you've placed them. My problem with the little bit of Arknights that I did play was like, you place it and then you just feel so fixed to what you've done, and that was sort of my issue. Like I said, don't take my word, I'm not a massive tower defense person, so I've never been big into that, but I really liked that it felt like I had more freedom in this game to go ahead and move my units. So like I said, this game coming out on October 27, which is really, really close. But, you know, tower defense, but I feel like it has that spin-off where for me, who doesn't like tower defense, I actually quite enjoyed this game from what the little bit that I did play in the beta. So definitely one to keep your eye on. The next game we're looking at is Nikke, Goddess of Victory on November 4th. Now, this is the one I am personally most excited for. I really enjoyed the betas for this game. The story was really cool. You know, the way they sort of make fun of the fan service, but also deliver pretty solid fan service is a really good play. It's a very unique game at its core, which often like surprises people, and they maybe get a bit offended when I say this. It's an idle game. You passively get loot. If you get stuck, you know, wait 24 hours, collect your loot, level your characters, and you can progress. At its core, it's an idle game. However, with a lot of idle games that release, I always say, you know, if you're not a fan of idle games, this won't change your mind. However, Nikke, I think that the combat in this, combined with the idle side of it, combined with what they're trying to build, I think you could really enjoy this because it doesn't really feel like an idle game due to that Time Crisis style combat. It feels really active, and then they expand on it because they did in Private Beta 1, they ran a co-op mode where you had to play on manual. There's some EX stages where you have to play on manual, so there is some need for manual play. A lot of it is you will play on auto, maybe just manualing when you use your ultimate abilities and stuff like that, because the AI with aiming in this is 100 times better at least than I am at aiming. It is so quick, so responsive, never misses, perfect charge times, everything like that. But like I said, even though the core is idle, it offers enough that I think if you don't like idle games, you will find some enjoyment. And obviously the character collecting side of Nikke is going to be a big thing for a lot of people, I think. But for me, the combat is just so enjoyable. The story is really well developed. I think I've played through about 9 or 10 chapters of it, and like, you know, every few stages you get a little bit of story where you know, they have the dialogue and stuff like that, and it's just really well put together, and I feel like a lot of care was taken when putting this game together. They did a lot of, you know, research into physics and stuff like that to develop it properly. But memes aside, just a really solid game, and I'll be making a bunch of content for this one in the lead up to and on release, and I think it's going to be probably my favorite game of the year, up there with Tower of Fantasy. So that is Nikke, Goddess of Victory. And the final game we're going to look at is going to be Girls Frontline Neural Cloud. Now, this one is based on the Apple App Store, which is sometimes wrong, is due to release on November 21st. However, because it is November 21st on the App Store, I don't see it pushing back into next year. So we should be pretty safe for a release this year. They are currently undergoing a closed beta test, which unfortunately I didn't manage to get into. But this game really interests me. First thing first, it's Girls Frontline, which is pretty respected in the gacha community. The people that play Girls Frontline, it's a very old game, but there's never been any massive issues with it that I can see. There is another Girls Frontline game, which I'm more excited about, that's in the distant future coming out, but we'll talk about that one in future videos once we get more information about it. But this Neural Cloud, the cool thing about this game is that it takes a different spin on thing where basically everything you do through the campaign and stuff like that is like a roguelike or roguelite. I always get confused which one I'm supposed to use, but it's like, for lack of a better word, a labyrinth style gameplay where, you know, you go node to node, you get different rewards, buff your characters, and I feel like that can make it a lot more enjoyable in the sense that you can customize your gameplay, and it's not just going to be the same thing every time. Now, as we play more, maybe it does still get a bit stale, but just based off that first principle of what they're doing, I really like it just to mix it up and get a different playthrough. Now, it is going to be a hex-based grid system, auto chess style, where you place your units, they run through, you go on the autoplay, and that's the sort of combat. Now, the character designs in this, fantastic. 2D arts, fantastic. In-game, you do get the chibi models, which I'm not personally a massive fan of, but because the gameplay systems seem really nice, and I actually enjoy the auto chess type of hex grid type combat, I think that's enough to let me look past the chibi models. How long we stay in this one, I don't know, because it's coming out after Nikke, and I'll be grinding Nikke pretty hard. But I think this one is definitely one to jump into. Play it for a day, see if you actually like it, because it is something different. But that is going to be Girls Frontline Neural Cloud, due to release speculatively on November 21st. So that is going to be it, guys. Let me know if there's any games coming this year that you are more excited about, if you're excited about any of these ones. And don't worry, we will definitely cover more games into the future, into next year. There's a heap coming out. Things are looking pretty good for Gacha games, which I'm pretty excited about. But thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.